Hey guys, Doc Severson here for the ReadySetCrypto OMNIA newsletter market update for Thursday, the 18th of June. Looking at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Look, ultimately, I am bullish on this pattern. I think this pattern looks fine. It looks like an ascending triangle, but I'm just starting to get the feeling here. And I know that you're not supposed to get a feeling when it comes to investing, but just after doing this for a couple of decades, starting to get the feeling that we're not going to be able to break out on this time through here, and that we may have to come back down first to one of these fibs to generate enough negativity to get us to actually slingshot higher. I know that sounds weird, but this is the way that markets operate. You have to go lower to go higher. You have to get too many people bearish on the price and get them to get squeezed out to the upside. We can get all those, BitMEX liquidations happening in the right manner, and this can help drive the price. Now you can see how much time we have left until it was about a week until the June 26 options, and I'm starting to think that maybe, this is really on the hairy edge. Like, can you set up a straddle which is going to operate in the next week? But boy, that would be super, super responsive if we're able to get the move that occurs in that. So looking at the skew here, you can see this. I know this is difficult to see, but this is the implied volatility down here. It's really low. So we do have a very low forward move, and this is where you would expect to see maybe this is the time to do something like this. So if we look at the 26th June, and right now the price is about 93.74. So the closest price to that is about 9,500. So looking at this, it looks like we would be able to set up a straddle for one contract would be on the order of about, roughly about $580. So what we're doing is we're just looking at the money straddle here, and this is adding, maybe about 230 here and maybe about 350 here. If we negotiate those levels, that would be about $580. And let's go back to the chart and see where that expected move would be. So our upper bound for this is going to be 99.54. So we're going to really pull this thing in. That's pretty close right there. And then the bottom bound of this is 87.94. 87.94. Pretty close right there. And then we're just going to pull this in. And you can see there's not much of a move that the options market is expecting by next week. So we can either take that at face value, or we can say, wow, with so much potential energy here, how can we not get a move over the next week? And so we'd be able to price this thing, even for a tenth of a contract, would be roughly about $58 to $60 would be reasonable for something like that. I would look for maybe about a 50% return on that. And the whole idea behind the straddle is, for this to really work, what you've got to have is a move. Well, certainly by June 26, we'd need to see it beyond the envelope. But if we get a very quick move, then you can actually book profits. 50% is not difficult to do in a day if it is a very quick move and a very quick break from here. But as many people are hoping that the price goes up, myself included, maybe we should start to look for an opposite break to the downside and a straddle setting up here into next week. Again, it's a little tight. You'd have to set up this trade where it's basically a Viking funeral, right? If it does not work out, then you have to wave goodbye to it. There's no real way for you to harvest any value from these things unless you get a pretty decent move, and then you can sell into strength or sell into weakness, either way that this breaks. Also, you'll have to be very decisive with the trade. You can't just sit there and go, well, I wonder if that's enough. I mean, if we get a big pop that's outside the envelope, that you sell into that. You sell into that move, you take profits on it. Nothing much else looking at the rest of the watch list here. Just nothing going on. There's nothing going on in the equities markets right now. Just looks like we're heading into the weekend with very little direction one way or the other. That's it for today's report. We'll see you over the weekend. Thanks for listening. Take care.